One thing I've always said is that you don't need to be president alone to effect change in people's lives. There are so many ways you can effect change in people's lives. I have businesses that have employed many Ghanaians, and I put food on their table. They are able to take care of their family. I think it's self-gratifying to see people working for me and taking care of themselves. What Ghana needs as a leader is a pragmatic leader and not theorist. And I see myself as a pragmatic leader. What I would have done to this country. People are saying inflation, depreciation of the cedi. Simple. This man made a fantastic statement, and it became his name, domestication. You see, we are too bookish. We didn't get what Mr. Danlati, we didn't get what he was trying to say. But let me break it down to you. During my campaign, I was talking about maize, sugarcane, cassava that we can use for ethanol. My brother, there's a company in this country that imports 20 million liters of ethanol, 2 million tons of ethanol. On the world market today, ethanol, 1 ton, is $962. Multiplied by 2 million tons, you get about $1.852 billion. How much do we get from cocoa? How much do we get from cocoa? And the process of getting this ethanol, all the byproducts, you can use some of them for poultry feeds. We can generate electricity out of it. I still maintain that. Let them go everywhere and check if what I'm saying is not the truth. Besides using this ethanol for alcohol, beverages, and everything, we can use the ethanol to mix. Today, they have increased prices of fuel. Okay? Meanwhile, if we domesticate and say that we're going to have import substitution industries or companies, meaning we'll build ethanol factory, then we stop importation of ethanol. If you do 300,000 liters a day for 300 days in a year, you need 42,000 acres of maize farm. Now, if you do the calculation, the 300,000 liters is nowhere near what that company in this Ghana imports. So you need about 700,000 liters a day. Before 300 days, you can get 21 million. Now, brother, as a nation, very simple for us to do. What's the use of the common fund in this country? We could have used the common fund to have every assembly should have 1,000 acres of maize farm. We have 275 constituencies. Every constituency, 1,000 acres. You have 275,000 acres. If you strike it by 300,000 liters, which a day that you need 42,000, my brother, you can have about 6 of 300,000 liters a day ethanol factory. And 6 by 300 is 1.8. You know, so 18 million or whatever, you can now say that we are not going to import ethanol into this country. We are self-sufficient. We can use sugarcane. The largest producer of ethanol is America. They use maize. Second is Brazil. They use sugarcane. They mix it with the fuel price. The fuel. So the prices of fuel in Brazil is lower than oil. India is doing the same thing. You see, God has given everybody a gift. But how we handle it. The Arabs, because of the desert, they are getting all these oils. We, without the desert, have arable lands, forests, everything that we can also do it, match the oil. But what are we doing? What are we doing? Cassava. We use cassava, starch. All pharmaceutical industries, paper industries, poultry. My brother, do you know what we can do in this country? Recently, a reputable man came to me. He said, Cotton Development Authority. He was talking to me. I just picked the phone and called my partners. When I called them on Thursday, they were there when I called. Friday, the report that they brought to me, I didn't even know about Tumu or the cotton that they have over there. So I called the guys to come. I handed over the paper. I said, oh, I thank you. You know what? We're looking for money just for feasibility studies. We don't have it. But bam, my connection, I got it for that. I said, take it, go and study it. Come back to me. I was talking to the speaker yesterday, and he confirmed that cotton, when he was in school, he was doing vacation employment in the cotton farms. ABA Fuseni also confirmed that he was doing a vacation employment at the cotton farms. What has happened to us? And in the report, the guy said, Burkina is doing very well in cotton production. Benin, now the president has taken charge himself, cotton production. Then he said, it means Ghana, you are not doing something right. To the Cotton Development Authority, I wasn't aware. They made me aware that they have over 1 million hectares, not acres, of farms suitable for cotton. And the last point they made was that we have a buyer to take off-taker agreement we can sign with you. A company in India will buy all these. My brother, if you put, look, soya beans, coconut, banana. Last 2 weeks, I was in London. I went to Waitrose and I bought banana, and it was produce of Ghana. I said, gee, then why don't we promote banana, growing banana here, if the market is there? Yeah, I saw it. Then I saw a package about this height. Coconut juice from Sri Lanka, 2.75p at a pharmacy shop called Boots. So, look, there's so many things we can do in this country. And
yeah, sorry. Not to cut you off. So are you sort of like reflecting on how the extent to which we are not able to utilize resources that would have...
Exactly. We are so dependent on foreigners for our survival.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Yeah. And on this note, because the first time I heard you talk about running for president, well, I don't know how long you've had that goal to run for president, but the first time I saw you on TV and you said you were so frustrated and talked about, I have to really run for presidency, was when the NPP decided to go to IMF. That's when the first time I heard you, in your reaction to that, you said, no, things have got to change and I'm going to be president. In other words, was this a part of the agenda that you're having, that we should be so independent that places like IMF and all that should be cut off?
Yes. You see, I didn't have intention of running or to become a president, although I agree that every politician aspires to the climax. But I later decided to contest because I realized, look, if there will be change and there will be youth employment, if we can improve on it, create job opportunities for the youth. Let me borrow the word domestication. Danlate, domestication. Then Agyapong. That's the way to go. Yesterday, I was talking to Honorable Agyapong, and he said he has a lot of rice, paddies. He can't get a buyer. I just speak a phone. Meanwhile, I have a friend called Jirasua who has built a nice rice mill and he doesn't have paddies. So I just called and connected them and said, speak to him and go and sell. Rice and sugar. We import over $1.4 billion in this country. And you see, I'm mentioning all these because if you want to stabilize our currency, this is the way we have to go. Because importing 1.4 billion puts a stress on our currency. And the dollar becomes more expensive because the demand is higher than the supply. And therefore, when demand is higher than supply, people tend to offer higher prices to get it. Then the moment the dollar goes up, our cedi depreciates, meaning you need more cedis to go and buy. So if we are able to stop importation of ethanol, minimum $3 billion will be saved. Not saved, but we protect it. There will be no rush, and therefore we can stabilize it. If we do say to sugarcane and sugar and rice, 1.4 billion, there will be no rush. That takes you to about $4.4 billion. Soya beans, yam. I have a technology whereby President Kufuor's time, Kwashiga, when he was a minister, my partner and myself, we went to Holland with yam for experiment. We can store yam for 8 months in this country. What do we do? All you need is a warehouse and just small machines even to process it into yam chips. You go to all these fast foods and they are promoting potatoes, potato chips which they import. I think going to Vice President's region, I also saw that they produce a lot of potatoes. All we need is to have warehouses that we can store it for 8 months and have yam chips we can export. Nigeria, they have yam powder. Every African market you go, you see yam powder there. My brother, what are we doing? It is not English. I look at them and they are speaking English. All this English, their pocket is empty. Their pocket, you are speaking big English. Your pocket is empty because you are a tourist. You are not a pragmatic person. The things are there clearly that this is the way to go. My brother, when I visited Volta region, I said to myself, wow, Rawlings has done a disservice to his own people. With these lands, what he could have done, the industries we could have created in Volta region. I went to the north, saw these vast lands, and the people are poor. How? What is wrong with us as human beings? So I said to myself, look, what South Africans have done, we Ghanaians can do it too. What any country, India, with all the, now the biggest population, the largest, they have about 1.5 billion, they're beating China. And still, they are able to produce rice and export it to Ghana. How? Why can't we do it? So, all I'm saying is, now we talk of cocoa, it's a shame that even the local industries that are producing cocoa import cocoa. We should be able to talk about it.
With all these ideas that you're coming up with, pragmatic ideas that you believe that this is the path Ghana should be on. Are you sure we have seen the last of you? Like, that we are now sitting back now to help where possible? Or are we going to see another emergence of, should I say, the showdown man?
Thank you very much. I think at the moment what I'm doing is I have to promote my business so that I can create more employment for the youth of this country. So I will devote more time on my business. It doesn't mean I'm not going to do politics. Even if you are doing politics, you still need money. This time, everything is money. So if you don't work, how will you get the money if you know? I don't want to be a contestant where I'll be going everywhere begging. I have to make sure I have the seed money for whatever I'm doing so that people will look at what I have done or I'm doing and have confidence to also contribute. And if you can do that, then it's all business. So currently, I have a peace of mind, to do my business. Just that is also setting me thinking, because I'm aspiring to get to, higher in life. And when you go to meetings and you hear people speaking, investors, then it's like in a blind man's world, one-eyed man is a king. Agyapong is here, everywhere you go, Agyapong. When you go to big meetings, the people, the minds, and the ideas that they have, Agyapong, you are just a small fry. So I come back, it sets me thinking, how am I going to get there? And that's how I dream big, and challenge myself. So currently, I want to concentrate on my business. It doesn't mean I'm not going to campaign. I will be there. But it's not the same as you being the candidate and going around everywhere. And you see, I don't want to be seen undermining the vice president. What some people propose, if I do, I disagree with them, because if I do that, I'll be undermining the vice president.
What are they proposing?
Like go and say this, go and do that, go independent. No, I won't do it. But like I said last week, man shall not live by bread alone. So it's business. And that is how, during the campaign, I mentioned Asia Miracle. I'll use Asia Miracle to change this country. You see, independence. Check the time Korea had independence. Check the time Malaysia had independence, Singapore and Ghana, Nigeria, and position them. And you see where we are. So I think time is not on our side. We got to catch up. And there should be no break. Anybody, the speed at which we have to go to develop, anybody who is not ready to fall in line should be left behind. Because that's the only way we can move this country. Now, Asia Miracle. What is Asia Miracle? Korea. They identified some businesses and promoted them. And that is why they are doing well. What they did was that they instilled discipline in those industries. If they give you, for instance, a grant of, say, $10 million for your company, you tell them, in the next 6 months, I will import these machines into this country and fix them. It's written. 6 months, they'll be there to check if indeed you've imported the equipment and installed them. Any excuse, they give you, another 3 months, I'll be done. When they come and you have not done what you said or agreed with, they take the business from you. It's discipline. It's not whom you know. When you go to Exim Bank and all these, go and check the number of people. I'm not afraid of them. I have to speak the truth because it's Ghana. Go and check those who got the Exim Bank loans. Go and check. I won't say anything. Go and check. Did they give the loans based on competence or relations? And it's not only Exim Bank. All other facilities that, they should be able to help industries to sustain. They look at faces and party affiliations. I disagree with that because NDC man can have, ideas, creative mind, and create a business. He will employ Ghanaians. Even if he employs 100%, which is not possible, to employ 100% NDC people in your company, still, they are Ghanaians. If MPP employs 100 MPP people, still, they are Ghanaians. So we need to promote Ghanaian businesses. That's the only way we can develop this country. A country where foreigners have shown us the way. Foreign investments have shown us the way that, look, Ghana is not poor. You have Chinese, and politicians are talking, oh, a Chinese man has built 100,000 liters a day, whatever. He's being supported by Chinese government. He has built a steel plant, Sancho. He has built a ceramic and being supported by Chinese government. What is your government doing? What is your government doing? And I can give you a typical example of development bank that they created. They have failed. Failed in the sense that you took a grant or a loan to disburse it at 8%. The 8% could have gone directly to the industries, the managers, the owners of the businesses. Meanwhile, they didn't want responsibility or a burden of chasing people for it. So they didn't want to take risk, in short. Now they gave the loans to commercial banks to disburse at 10% interest, which means they have a margin of 2%. Now, the moment the commercial banks take it, 10%, they have to ensure that they also get their profit to enable them pay the 10%. So it goes up by 12 or 14. So the gap from 8 to 14 is 6%. So how are you going to compete? A Ghanaian company going to compete with an Indian company who takes a loan of 3% or with interest of 3% or 5%, and you are taking in dollar term 14%. So right there, a Ghanaian is out. 3 days ago, I saw a gentleman who came and was owing the bank. When he brought it and I read it, my brother, he's paying 32.58%. And I asked him, what is wrong with you to go and take this kind of money? Yesterday, another guy brought this. He took a loan of 1.8. And he has paid the 1.8, but the interest has accumulated to about 3.7. The first guy owes Car Bank about 6.6 million with a loan of 1.6 million that he took. And there was a breakdown. I checked every month, 450,000 interest, 400,000 interest, brother. That is not how Asia developed. That is why I said Asia miracle. What they did right, that now the world is moving towards Asia, not America, not Europe. Because the Asian countries, there are competition. Malaysia came here for palm, and today we import oil from Malaysia. My brother, what is wrong with us? Check the dates that they all had independence. And we say we are star of Africa. We are mouthing on Asian platitudes. Let's get this out and move the country. Pragmatic approach with action. with the youth in mind. We have directors and senior members of the agencies who are behaving like Methuselah. They don't accept young men coming in with contributions. We have to open up with new ideas. These young men, the technology. Our time, people say that, how do you memorize numbers like that? Because we're doing mental. We're not allowed to take math set to exams room. This time, computer sitting there. Their time is different. We have to accept it and embrace the youth of this country to move the country. This is what I stand for. I am for the youth. And look, there's a lady waiting for me. Last year, March, she put in an application, went for interview. My brother, the way this young girl is harassing me, after here, I'm taking her to where she did the interview. She has no job. Meanwhile, I have 7 daughters who finished university in America. And the very day they finished, their job is ready. So I feel so guilty. My girls are doing well in America, and a politician with a loud mouth here, I'm not able to create job opportunities for the youth. That is my challenge. And I think the way we can handle this or change this country to create job opportunities for the youth is to adopt the Asia miracle with discipline, honesty, patriotism.
And you also said that we talk about it a lot, but we are all book, and the theory. How do we go through the transition that we become more pragmatic, more on the ground, and so that we can, when we talk about discipline, integrity and everything, we can apply that here too. Okay. Because trust me, you did say though, maybe when MPP or NDC is in power, you realize that they will pick winners and pick those that conform with their party beliefs and not necessarily those that are competent. So where do we go from here? Are we stuck with this over-particization of everything?
My brother, it's very simple. My answer to your question is that I believe that what any man has done on it, we Ghanaians, we can do it too. Therefore, the story of Singapore was part of Malaysia. They cut it off, thinking they were what? Garbage, underdogs, whatever. And Lee Kuan Yew took over with discipline, strong, fixed hands. What has Singapore become? Singapore is better than Malaysia in terms of the economy and the beauty of the countries. The stone that was rejected became the cornerstone of the builder. See how they rejected Singapore, and Lee Kuan Yew turned it around. Come to Africa. Rwanda came out of war about 12 or something years ago. War. And now Ghanaians, we are not ashamed to refer to Rwanda, Kagame, when you go there. It's all because of discipline. Okay? Strong-hearted person who loves his country, who is honest, who is patriotic, that will say that this is the way Ghanaians will go. Look, I'm telling you, the situation we are in now, Ghanaians don't need change. Change needs Ghanaians.
Repeat that, please. Ghanaians don't need change.
Ghanaians don't need change.
Change needs
Change
Ghanaians.
needs us. It means that we've gone past change. The situation is worse. That the change itself now is saying that please come and let me change you. Yes. And when you talk to people, they all admit that we need change. Let me give you one example yesterday. My senior brother from my constituency, who was a bishop in the Ghana Armed Forces, came to me, talking to me, take your time, this and that, your time will come. And I told them, Bishop, you know what? All of you are part of the problem. I am part of the problem. You are part of the problem. You don't want anybody to crack the whip. Oh, leave it to God. Oh, nyamibeye. The person has made a mistake. You need to punish him, to correct him, or to serve as a deterrent. Ghanaians will come back. You have a priest coming to back. You have a chief coming to back. You have your relatives coming to back. Did anybody beg Lee Wanju? Did anybody beg Kigami that they are doing well? So we are all part of the problem, Bishop. You are coming here. I have to reciprocate action. Whatever happened in Parliament, I reciprocated action. And you see, you journalists, some of you are part of the problem. Some journalists in this country are so corrupt that nobody is bold to tell them. You sit here, when you take money, then you will say, Solly. Solly has, go to the whole world and see if any journalist takes money and says Solly. You will say solidarity. It's bribe. The Solly you will take, it depends on the amount of money that I'll give you that you write a good about me. It's wrong. We are all partners. We want to change the system. And you are taking Solly to go and do your publication. Then you come back and criticize politicians that he's corrupt. Please, we are all part of the problem. If journalists stop taking bribe as Solly, if politicians stop taking bribe, if pastors, whatever, chiefs will stop pleading on behalf of people that have made mistakes, we can move this country. The Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself. Therefore, any worker in this country, if you love this country, you will not steal state funds. If you love this country, you will not embezzle state funds. If you are honest, you are not going to embezzle state funds. If you are disciplined, when they say 8 o'clock, not 10. It is only in Ghana here that when the time is 8 o'clock, they come at 10. And you go and pray the next day. Please, we all have to change our mindset. If we want to move this country, we have been endowed with a lot of resources, but the managers of the resources, the problem. You see, Indians, Lebanese, Turkish, Chinese, British, they have shown us the way that Ghana, we are not poor. What are we doing as citizens of this country to take our destiny into our own hands, to stop begging people for our survival?
Why do you think Ghanaians have the mindset that we call it the poverty mentality in a way? You know, like we declared HIPIC, highly indebted poor country. We say we're HIPIC. During the days that we were HIPIC, we had Lebanese, Indians, foreigners here making money, making profits. But Ghanaians were highly indebted. So what it's causing the Ghanaian?
Let me give you, I won't let you land. The answer is simple.
Yeah.
First of all, we are naturally bombarded.
Ghanaians are bombarded.
Yeah, we are naturally bombarded. You like to take it or leave it. I'll tell you the gospel truth. Why are we, I expect you to ask me, why are we naturally bombarded? Why is it that an Indian will employ a Ghanaian and he will work to the best of his ability? But if a Ghanaian employs a Ghanaian, he will undermine my business to collapse. Mm. Look, the managerial sector in this country, the level of dishonesty, that is why Ghanaian businesses are not doing well. Now, watch the foreigners. When you go to Palace, for instance, what hurts my soul is that I went to Germany to wash plates, I went to America to drive taxi, gas station, and I come to my own country. The only thing for my citizens to do is menial jobs. When you go to Palace, you see the black people, the Ghanaians, cashiers, cleaning, and all those things. And you see Lebanese standing there watching because of his experience. The first time that they employ Ghanaians, they duped them. They nearly collapsed their business. So now, they said, no. With good managers, Ghana is a place to do business. So let me go and bring my own people. Now he's brought Lebanese as managers. Their businesses are flourishing. What it means is that Ghanaians, we have lost that managerial positions. Okay? Because the foreigners have taken over. All because of dishonesty. All because of indiscipline. When Kwabena died, I felt sorry. I just said to my son that they should create a sick bay. A nurse. Those are the people I want to help. A nurse who cannot get a job came to my job and asked my son to be a cleaner. So when he was taking her around, that is when he met Kwabena Kwachi and he fell on him and he couldn't survive. So telling me the story, I said, listen, you have to create a sick bay. How can a nurse? Their school fees is more than the university graduates. And now she's going to be a cleaner. Create a sick bay. With what happened? Because he told me that the girl tested Kwabena's pulse and started giving CPR. So I just said, we need this. We have a lot of space. Let's get a sick bay and put the nurse on the premises. You see, but it is our own fault, our mindset. It is KSM. Let's destroy it. It is Obroni, and it stems from our culture. When we were growing up, there was a story that, if you are going to church on Sunday and you see a white man, you have seen Jesus Christ, so go back home. Yeah. It's an impact on our thinking that a white man today, Ghanaians feel white man is superior. Yeah. So we need to change the mindset. We need to be patriotic. We need to be honest. We need to be disciplined. And we have to challenge ourselves and say that we are going to make Ghana a better place. Go to British High Commission and see the number of Ghanaians going for visas. Why is it that all these youth are redundant here, but they go elsewhere and they have opportunities? That is my dilemma. That is why I decided to contest. And nothing will stop me. But first things first. I didn't win. I have to concentrate on business, but never say never. Maybe another opportunity will come. Another opportunity will come. Yeah. So, my brother, Ghana, with good leaders, bold leaders, charismatic leaders, selfless leaders, honest leaders, we can move this country.
So is it the case that since independence, we haven't had good leaders, selfless leaders?
I believe in Kwame Nkrumah, although I'm UP. Read my lips. You can say it till the next day. I believe in Nkrumah. You see, they did a lot of propaganda. Yeah. And looking at what Ghanaians are behaving, our behavior today, we needed Nkrumah that time. Yeah. You can hang me. I still stand by what I'm saying. Driving from here, this afternoon I'll be going to Tema, motorway. Let's say a big thank you to President Akufo-Addo, who is expanding it. It's a little bit too late that when this road is done, he will not be there, and NDC or MPP, nobody will give him credit. They won't. But so many years, motorway, it is only Akufo-Addo who is now expanding it. Akosombo testers, just everything that Kwame Nkrumah did for this country, He was over 200 years ahead of his peers or time. I know where the criticisms will come from, but that is me. I'm not a young man anymore. I'm going to be 64 years. I've done my analysis, my studies, and he is a great man. No doubt about it. We have to emulate him. Okay? And we have to have that drive and dream big, think big, do things big. We tend to give positions to myopic thinkers. Yeah. And the people that you appoint them don't even know how to make money themselves. How can they make money for the government? That's the problem we have in this country. And when Agyapong says this, they say, hey, he's a big mouth. He's destroying this, he's destroying that. But one day, posterity will judge us that there was one man who single-handedly fought for the country. I put my life on it, threats here and there, but I don't care. We got to live. You see, everywhere I go, Ken, Honorable Ken, showdown, this and that. The moment I step out of this country, who cares about Agyapong? That alone tells me that I have to make Ghana a better place for me to live. That is where they appreciate me. I go to America, they don't care about you. UK, they don't care about you. Europe, they don't care about you. After this program, let's walk. And you see the number of people that will call me. I'm not swollen-headed, but it gives me a challenge that you cannot make America your home, Europe your home, but Ghana. That is why I will continue to criticize the wrongs in society. And I really don't care. Once I know I'm speaking the truth.
Speaking of criticizing the wrongs in society, you have actually criticized your party to an extent that people believe that you didn't have any moral authority to want to lead that party that you have condemned. There was one quotation, if I may borrow your own words, say MPP. You know,
it's good you brought this up. Yeah. You know, let me tell you, if there will be war in this country, it will be started by journalists. If there's war going to be in this country, it will be by journalists. Now look and check the history of Rwanda. A comment that a journalist made. And within 48 hours, 800,000 people died. What you've just said, let me tell you the story. And those who want to be diabolic will take that portion and say, oh, Agyapong has insulted them. Yes, I did. I stand by it. I stand by it and read my lips. I'm not afraid of anybody. I said it. Now let me tell you. I went to Adom FM morning program with Kwanzaa. He was the regional minister for Central Region. I went there, it was all over. When I was going to that studio, it was all over. That Honorable Safo Mafu has gone to say certain things that, you know. How did people get to know? Eastern Region, he was talking to Eastern Region MPP. And they recorded him. He was trying to give them the history, whether is the right thing he said or not, or is the truth, that one. So whatever he said, our own people recorded Safo Mafu. Then they gave it to NBC radio stations. And they were playing it all over. So I got to the studio. They played the full tape. I said, what? So Safo Mafu was talking to MPP people. And you recorded him, put it on national television, radio. Maza, what do you mean answer? What do you mean answer? And you know, what people are afraid to say, I say it. And later I'm vindicated. You know that statement Honorable Safo Mafu made, and they brought it out, created a problem between Achims and Ashantis. To those who were at the meeting and recorded it and gave it to radio stations to play, what was their motive? What was their motive? So Agyapong, who is saying that if you go to a meeting, that we all have to, is an internal thing, then you take it out there to create confusion in the MPP party between Achims and Ashanti. And I say, Jimmy, you go and play that portion, leaving the whole details, just because you want to be diabolic. You want to be diabolic. Me I'm kind. Me can Japan I'm kind. You know, Auntie Amabuzia, may her soul rest in peace. I went to meet the Council of Elders, and she played that day. I wouldn't answer MPP for him, for now I say play the full tape. I said that is all I have. So you see, they have deceived you. Even that, I made reference to President Akufo-Addo's meeting. It was 8 minutes. I spoke 8 minutes, and they took seconds to destroy Agyapong. So you journalists, you are part of the problem in this country. You peddle lies, you sensationalize things, you don't tell the truth, all because you want to destroy Agyapong. I'm sorry. Posterity will judge all of us. You know, when they listen to the tape, and they say, oh, no, this one, we have done a disservice to you. In fact, Mr. Kwadwo Mpianim even suggested that I should go on air and explain these details. They didn't have that details. And I said, you know, I've said it several times. There's a Kan proverb who says, Obi a ompe wasemono, or sa wasakura no achianepa. So I don't need to go and explain anything. So I said it. But in what context? That is what some Ghanaians fail to know, because they consume information, they don't digest information. If you want to give Agyapong benefit of the doubt, I give you 4 W's as a journalist. I'm not the one. You are a seasoned journalist, and therefore I can't educate you. But I can share this with you and see the difference you are going to make in society. If they come to tell you Agyapong has said this, first, the 4 W's. When did Agyapong say this? What did he say this? Why did he say this? And what was said? If you are able to analyze these 4 W's, you will not be stereotyped and you will know the truth. So when we are going to speak on this issue, you are well informed of what actually transpired to trigger the statement. But here, you sensationalize things, Kofi TV or whoever, whatever transpired in Parliament, you'll say UTV, they were saying I hate that, a whole lot of things, without knowing what actually transpired. The person has come to apologize to me. Why did he come to apologize to me? But he has apologized to me, and therefore I'm not going to explain it. I see the way journalists put it out there. I'm telling you, I'll keep saying it. The journalists, some of you use your stomach, and they are big stomach. Big stomachs, the journalists, big stomach, in the, not physically that is big, but the taste. No money. No money can satisfy you. So you go out there and peddle false information. They go there with arrogance. They think, when they are behind the machines, the spirit that they get to lie, they have made politicians so timid. They are not bold to defend anything. They are scared. I am not. Read my lips. I'll tell you like it is. Because I also pay journalists. So I'm not afraid of any journalist in this country. We have to be bold. Okay, so if not, the way things are going, you see, we should be partners. And the truth should prevail at all times. That's the only way we can move and develop this country. We are corrupt. you are corrupt, everybody is corrupt. Where do we go then? That is why I decided I will contest. And look, 4 years, I will change this country. 4 years, I will change this country because I will crack the whip. If I appoint you today, if I have evidence against you, I will fire you. I will not promote you. People that they tell them, oh, we're corrupt, promote you with impunity. I will not do that. I will fire you, and I don't care. You can be my wife. If you make a mistake, you are sacked. I'll disgrace you too, publicly. I'll give reason why I sacked my wife. To serve as a deterrent to others. Because we've pampered bad people in society that now they are controlling the system. This is not, Ghana is not a Ku Klux Klan. Ghana is a civilized country that we have to enshrine the word discipline.
No, that I agree with you. Actually, you see, I was just listening and listening.
But anytime I talk about journalists, you keep quiet and you face changes.
No, honorable. Well, but I can understand your frustration, you know, in terms of the 4 W's, the when, why, and all of those things, you know. But also, as an advice, you know, this is unsolicited advice, you know. Also, I also think that as politicians, in your communication, you have to understand that people have selective attention. You know, right now you're talking to me about how disciplined you are, and even if it's your wife, you you know, somebody just selectively will just be drawn to the fact, say, hey, when was in the crowd?
Exactly.
You see, So my advice to politicians is that in communicating, understand that because people have selective attention, know how you code certain things. You know? Because, for example, if you're saying, me, I'm for discipline, I won't spare anybody, I don't care if you're my family member, if you go wrong, I have to make sure you're disciplined. You know? As opposed to, you know, right away, hey, oh. So as you are advising journalists, I'm also advising politicians that...
Well taken.
Yeah, you know. But oh, this is getting interesting. But you get 3 episodes now.
Don't worry. Another time.
But the first time I spoke with him was 11 years ago.
Yes.
I think it was 11 years ago. Yes.
Yes.
when we first spoke, and 11 years later, we are still speaking.
And all the things I said has come to pass.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I played back the tape yesterday, and I was like, oh, wow. You know.
Yes.
Do you see yourself as the disciplinarian president one day?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
If they give me the nod. Look, you see, my policy is, my term is 4 years. And therefore, any politician who thinks of the second term will not be effective. Why? Because he wants to go a second term. He cannot crack the whip. He thinks if he's strict and disciplined, the people will not vote for him. I want only 1 term. And the 1 term, the development I'll bring in this country, Ghanaians will beg me to contest or stay. It has happened in my constituency. This time I used a looter that I'm not going. No. So if you know that your term is 4 years and you damn the consequence and develop this country, Ghanaians will give you another opportunity. But a situation where the moment they swear in, you are thinking of another term, then you can't. So we have to be bold. Development, development, development. How are we going to develop this country unless you conscientize the minds, especially the youth? You know, let me end here.
Folks, what an Independence Day version of the show, man. All right.